the next piece that we're going to go over in the created framework, which is clarity, rhythm, encouragement, alignment, thriving, efficiency, and daring. We're spending 2 weeks on each topic. Each topic is going to get 4 videos. The first one is like this, where I say, hey, this is the adventure that we're going on. This is where we're headed. The second one is an interview with an expert, and I'm super stoked about what I got coming up in 2 days. Father-son team, and I'm looking forward to them. They're both super great people, and this is exactly the right thing that they should be talking about. So we're going to be talking about encouragement. Then the following Tuesday, I'm going to do kind of another talking head video where I talk about the things that I've been learning on the topic. And then finally, the last Thursday, I'm going to have a friend of mine in, and we're going to have a discussion. By that time, whoever that guy is, they're going to have watched the interview video for sure, and hopefully my super educational talking head videos they're going to just get a whole lot out of. And so with that, I'm going to dive into encouragement, just what I got from the little bit of study that I did on the topic, give some thoughts that I have on it. And it would also be helpful if you have some thoughts, questions that I should ask a guest, things that you're curious about. I would love to hear that. And if you know some people that would be great guests for me to talk to about the topic of encouragement, send them a link, tag them, do whatever people do online to let people know that they need to pay attention to this video. Okay. So with that, let's jump in. I don't really pay too much attention. I think that all languages are beautiful and wonderful and all that. The only one that I really pay a lot of close attention to is going to be Hebrew and kind of Greek. Everything else is just a man-developed language. So that said, I did find the word encouragement, which I knew that it was a compound word, right? It sounds like it's a compound word. It's French, so that's why it was confusing to me, because it starts with an en. Anyway, so it means to cause or to put into. That's what the en stands for. Courage has a meaning of heart, spirit, or inner strength. And then the suffix ment is the action or the result of. So putting into the heart or the spirit of somebody for action. Okay, I'm liking this word. I love the way that this sounds. Okay, how do we fuel people up? How do we spark something? How do we put something into them? How do we light something that's already in them? Like, where does encouragement come from? What's its function? How's it work? Okay, because we've all been around people that by instinct, they know how to encourage us. When they talk to us, we like feel invigorated and revitalized and ready to get after it. So I'm going to go over a handful of ways that people become encouraged, which, to be honest, you're probably going to have all of these in varying degrees. There is no one way to encourage everybody. Okay, so feeling seen. I thought that was kind of an interesting idea. I think that it is the idea of not feeling alone. It isn't so much. It may almost feel like somebody is affirming your perspective or acknowledging that you have a perspective. That might be a thing. Let's see. So, receiving hope, hearing words that remind them that failure isn't final. Now, this is one of the ways that I find myself encouraging people the most, actually, is when they're down, and I like to let people go first explain to me the situation. It's like some people, like they know what you're discouraged about, as though they see through your eyes without letting you talk. And that sort of thing is actually quite discouraging because they're never going to get it right. It's like prescribing a pair of glasses to somebody without having them checked, or giving them directions to your house without finding out where they're starting from. It's nonsense. Now, when I hear people talk, I'm trying to pay attention to when we are feeling discouraged, it's because we think we know something. We're convinced that we know something most of the time, much of the time. And so this is where, I'm paying attention and listening for that spot where they've made an assumption that isn't true. And if I can help them to see that, I don't have to tell them, hey, that's not true. I can ask them, hey, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Are you sure that that's the way that it is? And a lot of the time, it's that sort of thing where they talk themselves out of it, and I just kind of ask questions. And so I wind up, hey, you know what? I never thought about it before. I wind up giving them that feeling of not being alone, and helping them to challenge those thoughts that may or may not be true. So being supported, knowing that someone has your back, that gives people a lot of courage. I'm guessing that professional athletes and that sort of stuff, during COVID, there was sporting events where there was nobody in the stands. And I'm guessing that you play with a little bit different intensity when there's fans screaming versus no fans in the stands. Gaining perspective, hearing stories, wisdom, and reframing renews courage. Now, this is where I personally get a lot out of biographies, seeing how other people have done it, knowing that it can be done. Whatever the thing is, whether I'm trying to invent something, fix something, help somebody out, whatever that thing is. When I watch a biography, if I can see myself in the story, then I come back kind of charged up. People encourage others with these sorts of activities: words of affirmation, speaking the truth, hope or recognition, directly specific compliments, scripture affirmations, acts of presence, simply showing up and standing alongside someone is a difficult moment. Let me take this moment to address Job's friends. I think that they have been misrepresented for a long time. Job's friends, everybody should wish that they had friends like Job's that would just show up and sit in silence and just sit with you while you take in what's happened. His friends showed up and didn't talk, but just sat there for days. And I'm going to bet that Job spent a lot of that time crying and a lot of that time just feeling and having his friends there. They are called friends. They're not called associates. They're not called a couple people that really know Job well. No, they're called friends. And I think that his friends were pretty awesome. Clear up until they started to not be awesome. Okay, so gaining perspective, hearing stories, wisdom, and reframes that renews courage. Yeah, when you hear stories about other people that they've been in this spot and then they came out, that's always awesome and helpful. Some quotes. So one of the things that I love to do with my guests is put on the screen some quotes. If you have some quotes that you would love to hear reviewed, whether now or later, if you got some quotes that you just love about encouragement or that are encouraging or however, I would love to see that. Just put that in the comments. That would be awesome. Hebrews 10:24 says, "Let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds." I really like that. Spur them on, which I think is a pretty darn good synonym for encourage. I think that you could say, let us consider how we may encourage one another on toward love and good deeds. I wouldn't be surprised if that was another translation. John Maxwell says, encouragement is oxygen for the soul. It's pretty cool. Winston Churchill, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Pretty good. Mother Teresa, kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless. Man, how many times can you point to something that happened a long time ago, some lesson? I was actually just talking to somebody a couple hours ago, and I remembered something that God spoke to me like 30 years ago, challenging my faith and confidence in technology. Now, even more so, I rely on technology, and he is still supremely over the top of all of them by the same infinite measure. Chinese proverb, one kind word can warm 3 winter months. That's kind of artsy and fun. I like the way that that's laid out. I looked up, so I barely have a handle on English. I feel like I got a pretty decent vocabulary. However, I've got no Hebrew vocabulary at all. Nope, I think that's just a brand of hot dog. I don't even know how to say hot dog in Hebrew. Let's see. So you got 3 words that regularly get translated to encourage. One is chazak, another one is amatz, and the third one is nichum, I don't know. They're all written with like little squiggly things and letters that sort of resemble English letters, except for they're wiggly. So I've got, let's see. So the first one is to strengthen, make firm, support. The second one is to be courageous, steadfast, and resolute. The third one is to comfort, console, and encourage. And you know what? The thing that I really got to thinking was that there are different sorts of means to encourage different people. I actually don't get encouraged too much from, hey, it's going to be all right, and a big snuggle. But I know people that a hug and being told, hey, everything's going to be all right, goes a very, very long way. I know that if I can't see the path, if I can't even believe for a path, that's where I get discouraged. What do they say? That when you don't see any options, that's when we get sad. And when we see too many options, that's when we get anxious. And when I come back to this, I think that when we see no options at all, that's where we're the opposite of encouraged. And so, yeah, for me, I need to kind of be able to imagine a means, and then I can start like rallying myself, which is actually one of the ways that one of these words kind of roughly translates. I think it's the first one, where it talks about rallying yourself. The second one is more of a being steadfast, like a wall, being unmovable. So one is more like picking yourself up, getting picked up. The other one is standing resolute and being able to, kind of take a beating. And the third one is to be comforted, and all of them result in encouragement. With that, I've got some books to read. I have some TED Talks to listen to. I have some podcasts to listen to. I've got some audiobooks that I need to go to some specific chapters, because I did a little research on where to go. And so, yeah, you're welcome to join me. I hope you do. It'll be until the end of next week, and then we will jump into alignment, and we'll dig into that. So, hey, if you got questions for my guests, send them my way. When I talk to them, the first question that I pretty much always ask is, where did you think I was going to go? What did you think I was going to where this conversation was going to go. And then toward the end, I will ask them, what were you expecting? What question do you think I should have asked? And sometimes that can kick off another 30 minutes into the conversation. So that's the plan. That's the aim. I hope that you come along, and I hope that you learn something. And I really hope that you share this with somebody so that somebody else can get the benefit of encouragement. We all need it from time to time. All right. I'm Adam, High Caliber Coaching. I will catch you later. Bye-bye.